This one is called burdock. Okay, it has two parts of the word, bur and dock. Dock means if you have this gross, coarse thing in your garden, get rid of it, dock it, like if you're docked of your pay. Dock is an old word, means get rid of or eliminate. And burr refers to a later stage of the growth of the plant where it has burrs that stick to your clothing with seeds inside. So it has these large wedge-shaped leaves. They're whitish underneath, like the lamb's quarters. That's important. There's a plant called bitterdock that looks similar. It doesn't have the whitish underneath, and although it won't kill you if you eat it, it tastes so bad it'll make you wish you were dead. So burdock is a biennial, grows 2 years. The first year it's in a basal rosette. The leaves come out from the bottom of the plant and they spread out in a circle. And the leaves are starting to decompose and die, being November, but the root will sit here all winter. And you scrub off the root, slice it razor thin on a diagonal, and put it in soups or stews or rice. I have a Kimpiri gobo recipe on my DVD. Gobo is the Japanese word for burdock. If you've ever eaten in a Japanese restaurant, you've probably encountered this vegetable. So I'm going to pass it around. It smells a little like potatoes. It's related to artichokes, not rhubarb, and I'll get to that momentarily. Related to thistle and artichoke. And you can smell the potato-like smell to it. It has to be cooked to eat it. So you slice it razor thin diagonally, and it needs some moist cooking to complete the cooking process. So the Kimpiri gobo, you saute this in sesame oil with thin slices of ginger and carrots for about 5 minutes. Then you add some Japanese wine, mirin, and some tamari soy sauce. Cover it and let it simmer for about another 10 or 15 minutes. That's what tenderizes the thin slices of the root. And then you serve it sprinkled with sesame seeds, and it's one of the best vegetable side dishes you've ever eaten. Burdock is considered a blood purifier, in modern parlance, a detoxifier. It helps take toxins out of the body. It's good for the liver, for the kidneys, for the gallbladder, and for the blood. It's very delicious, and it contains a sugar called inulin, which doesn't provoke an insulin response. So this is very good for diabetics or hypoglycemics, very good for people with blood sugar problems. The leaves are used for bruises, and I've known a few people who've had bruises, and I had them chop up, and I don't practice herbal medicine, but from being on my tours, they knew that if you chop up the leaves finely, mix them with clay, which is absorbent, and bandage that on a bruise, it gets rid of a very bad bruise within a couple of days. So this is great externally for bruises. People hate it. It's an Asian plant. The root is very deep. Some sources say it's not worth it because the root is so hard to dig up. But there's 3 factors that make the root easy to dig up. 1, a shovel. 2, people take little garden trowels, and the thing is this deep, and they go after it with a garden. You take a shovel and stick the shovel into the earth, stomp on the shovel, drive the shovel in, scoop up the dirt, go to the other side of the plant, do the same thing, and in 1 minute you have this huge taproot excavated. And it goes a very long way. And the third thing is, it's a very common plant. It grows in disturbed habitats. It won't grow in manicured lawns. It won't grow in the forest. But where people have removed the forest and there's bushes and things like this kind of area, if this were not well kept here, this would be the kind of area where burdock would grow. You choose a place where there's not a lot of rocks in the soil so that you can actually use the shovel. Some soil is rocky, some soil is not. Places near pine trees where the needles have been incorporated into the soil seem to produce the softest soil as far as the wild goes. And then you just dig it up, and it's quite delicious. So that's the burdock. And the second year you can harvest the burrs and let kids play with them. They're like a natural Velcro. Any questions on any of these plants so far?
Does this come your yard on its own?
It can, yes, it can. That's why you have to dock it. It can come in your yard on its own. All of these things can do that. And again, I lead these tours in the parks, and we find these just about everywhere. We walk around for a few hours. We'll certainly find this in stone barns on Sunday.